Hello folks, and in today's video we're going to be revisiting a Broadway Limited EMD SD40 in the CN noodle paint scheme. This is a DCC ready locomotive, or known as Broadway Stealth Series. This is made to scale. Apparently it's a detailed locomotive. I have already reviewed this on my channel. About, I'd say 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Which I couldn't figure out how to really do things with this because there's no instructions at all in the box. But I at least finally figured out how to take off the body and, access things like the decoder, a blanking pin or plug, and things like that. So we're gonna review this again today, more in depth. If you guys want to see that other video, I'll leave a link to it in my description. Alright, let's open her up. So as I said earlier, this is a Broadway Limited EMD SD40 in CN 5145 in the CN noodle paint scheme. I originally paid $199 Canadian for this. The original price on these is 419 Canadian dollars, which is a lot for a DCC ready SD40. I can get a DCC with sound Intermountain ET44 AC for $299 Canadian. And then here's the date that it was shipped out. Date of manufacturing, March 2023. Better yet, for the brand new price of one of these, I can pay $80 more and get a Scale Change ET44 AC. So here it is. It's, in my opinion, a better box than Broadway Limited steam engines. It just looks a lot better. And in the box, I might as well point out, it is missing one of the sides for some reason. Oh, and then also here is the very bad manual. This is actually all that's in the box, nothing else. So you can read that if you want to. And on the other side, there's that. And then pulling this out now, these come off, which these aren't really needed in my opinion. And then for some reason, I might as well show this. We have this weird cutout on the top of the shell. I don't know why. And then I think this is a little bit too overprotective, and I'll show you why. So here we open it, and then we have these, and I think there's a bit too much foam, to be honest. Pull all of them out. And then here it is, and it's somewhat glory. There is a crew figure, but just one. I don't know why they wouldn't have put two, but they haven't. And one of the mesh grills is coming off on the top. But I think these might be brass, possibly. I don't know. Maybe they are. They're yellow underneath. But here you can see there's damage. That little antenna is pushed in because of how much protection there is on the foam, I believe. Not sure why that would have happened, but I guess for some reason it did. This comes off like this. Oh, my skin looks weird under the camera. Yeah, so here is the body. Not body, the locomotive. Something I don't like is that the trucks are a completely different color to the locomotive. They're a lot matter, you could say, on the... It has a much more of a matte finish on the trucks than there is on the actual body, I will say. These grills are not see-through, which is very, very disappointing. For $419, that should be see-through. This is meant to come off, and I did get it off, but there's nothing underneath, so pointless. And then the fuel tank is die-cast, which I guess it's fine. Yet there is a big glue mark here. Maybe you can see it. I don't think so. Oh yeah, now you can. The glue mark's right there. Very unfortunate. And this is the worst part, where this is missing. There's a lot of glue marks. Obviously, the worker in China, whoever was manufacturing this, saw this come off, and just kept putting more glue and glue and glue, unfortunately. And I think they must have dropped this because these are all bent in. I have managed to pull the other side out, which is good, but the windshield wipers are pulled out too. This is brand new. I want to say that, not used. You guys could say, well, blame the hobby shop. Well, the thing is, this came from BLI like this, not from a customer. So that's why I'm pointing that out. Yeah. Oh, and there goes the little thing on the top. And then something else I want to point out too, in my investigation trying to get the body off, stuff like that, these screws are different sizes. Yes, like literally one's shorter, one's longer, and they are different threads. Same thing for the couplers. The front screw and the rear screw are two different screws. No idea why, but they are. So yeah, that's that. I guess I'll have to reglue this after. Although the fence blades, the fan blades do spin, which is kind of cool. Um, Although I will say, kind of pointless at the same time because, well, not like they're motorized, so kind of a useless feature in my opinion, but otherwise cool. The exhaust is hollowed out, but there's nothing inside. And there is a big gap here in between. You can see about the size of my fingernail actually gap in between where the class lights are, which is super weird. But yeah, that's that. Now, I'm not going to do an up-close detail on this, as I just kind of did that now. Of course, I think these are legible. At least they look like they are. I don't entirely know, though. I can't tell. I think it would be. Alright, just to clarify, I did just do a close-up just to see if the text was legible, and when I did the close-up, the text was not legible, which very much does suck. I don't know why they wouldn't have made that legible, as to be honest, this costs a lot of money. That text should be legible. Of course, it doesn't make a big difference, but let's carry on with the video. Although, unfortunately, there are no photos to 4145, a 5145 in real life, as I believe that was scrapped, so I can't look at any photos, unfortunately, for you guys. I will say I think that should have been a lot different, which, you know, I guess you could also say the hobby shop should have sent this back, but at the same time, BLI did send it out like this. So at the end of the day, it is still BLI's fault for sending the model out like this, in my opinion. Now, I will do a pull test, because I have not done a pull test yet on this. So, what we're going to do now is the coupler height test. Alright, so now for the coupler height test, I will be using this to gauge it. This is a tangent, something, I don't remember the exact name, but this is made to the NMRA standards, so that's why I'm using this. So, let's see the coupler height here. Yeah, just as I thought, it's a little bit low, unfortunately. Yeah, so as you can see, it is a tiny bit low, but it's not like it's a game-changing low, though. It's just very, ever so slightly, low. So not really a issue there, I'd say. That is probably fine. Yeah, as you can see, ever so slightly low. Alright, let's test the other side now. Or the front. Alright, so here for the front. Let's just put that there. I think this might be a little bit high. Oh, wow, that's really high. Yikes. That's very bad. Okay. And as I know this car is not too low, as all of my other locomotives, my scale trains, Intermountain, Rapido, PAs, those are fine. It just seems to be this one at the moment. The only other one I can actually think about that's too high is my big boy, the BLI big boy. But yeah, that is. Let me just see here. Try that again. Yeah, that is way too high. Of course, you're never going to be pulling with the front anyways, but that shouldn't be an excuse to make the coupler too high. All right, so let's go down to the track now and see how this handles my curves. All right, so here for the curve test, this is on my inner line, on my 22nd radius, or I should say my little line that I just store my freight on. As you can see, it runs perfectly forward and reverse. Here it is pulling a car. This has KD short shanks on it, KD scale short shanks, and it pulls it and pushes it perfectly. And here it is pushing the intermodal car, and it does fine. If you're wondering, alrighty folks, so here I have the BLI loco here. Now we're just gonna do a pull test, and I have my trusty micro gauge controller that I got for free actually. My hobby shop gave it to me for free. It is 16 volts DC, so I'm not going to go above half power on this just in case. This is actually made in the USA, which is pretty cool. Hempstead, New York. It is from postage stamps trains. I'm not entirely sure what postage stamp is, but yeah, pretty cool. I can feel the radiation coming out of this. So yeah, my hand's already feeling kind of weak. I hope that's not a bad thing. But alright, so I have my entire California Zephyr here, 11 car set. I'm going to try and pull with this single BLI engine, and we're going to see how it turns out. So let's reverse here. Okay, it's hooked up. This is quarter of power. Half, still no headlight. Okay, I'm probably at 8 volts now. 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 volts. Wow, we're not even moving. Might be the lights from the coaches, though. Yeah, that's max power, 16 volts. We are not moving. Oh, maybe we will. Let's give it a little nudge. No. Almost got it, though, I will say. Let me give it a little push here. Give it some slack. No, nothing. Alright, let's try the freight. Alrighty, so here's my freight train. This is 30, maybe 28 cars, I'd say, at the moment. I'll try and reverse it here. My hand is starting to feel very weird now. I hope this really isn't a bad thing from holding this. I can feel the vibrations of the electricity. Maybe you can hear it too. I wonder if that's audible. Alright, let's reverse here and see what happens. So, that's 1 volt. It did try. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Still throttling up. Still going. I thought these were meant to pull like 50 cars or something. Just with one. Interesting. Maybe I was lied to. Let's see if I can push it then. Oh, we are pushing. Wow. Okay, it's pushing all 35 cars. I mean, not 35. So it can push, but it can't pull. Okay, interesting. Then I'm going to reverse it around and see if I can bring the train around since my layout's not that big. Alright, let's detach this and I'll come right back. I have my freight here now. Oh, I have noticed it's developed a tick now, which is weird. Let's try. That's max voltage. It wants to go, but it just doesn't have enough weight to it. Let's see if I can give it a little boost then. Oh, nope. Almost. Let's give it more of a boost. It's close, but it's developed a tick though, which is weird. But I can push it though. So the thing's better in reverse. Interesting. Alright, yeah, so that's decent, I will say. I mean, it can push, it can probably pull 30 cars, no doubt in my mind, which is good. In my opinion, that's my standard for locomotives. A locomotive, at least like an ET44AC, should be able to pull at least 30 cars by itself. Although I'm not sure what you would want for an SD70 though. Not an SD70, SD40. I'm not sure exactly how much you would want that to pull. I would imagine around 20 by itself. I'm not entirely sure though. But yeah, that's pretty much on my standard. I will say, probably on a flat layout, if you had a flat layout unlike mine, if you had a flat layout, you'd probably be pretty much perfect off with something like this. But yeah, let's see if I can maybe lash out with my other SD40 and see how this goes. See how the track. So, we're going to do a little lash up here. I do have another locomotive. This is, I believe, a very old Athearn Blue Box locomotive. It has a die-cast fuel tank too, which is pretty interesting. But I will say, the shade of black coloring on the trucks is pretty much identical to the BLI ones. I will say, it basically looks pretty much the exact same, although there's a bit of darkness. There you go. In person, they look pretty much identical, although the older Athearn one looks more realistic compared to the BLI one, which is kind of strange to say for an old Athearn Blue Box. But I do like that this actually has full metal handrails, which I believe the BLI one does have just plastic ones, which is still okay, but I'm just pointing that out. And this is a SD40-2, I believe. And the other one, BLI one here, is a regular SD40. So yeah, I will move the locomotives back and we'll commence the running session. Alrighty folks, so time for the running session here. I haven't run straight DC in actually quite some time. Probably about a year maybe a year actually, I'd say, since the last time I've touched a DC controller on the HO scale layout. I have done it on the N scale up in the middle of the camera shot. You can see it there, besides the Wegmans O scale. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But yeah, it's been quite some time. But yeah, let's start this running session. Alright, hope you guys enjoy. Hello there, folks. Thanks so much for watching this video to the end here. Really do appreciate it. I will say for this locomotive, I think I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Mainly because, well, BLI sent out a locomotive with missing detail, which is, very, I don't know, I don't even have words to describe that, to be honest, because that's quite frankly, I would say, unacceptable, to send out a locomotive even though it has damage to it. I think they should have at least replaced the cab on this or something, just so those parts could have been fixed. But no, I guess they couldn't have. I will say, I don't think this is worth the money. $418 it was or something. I think it might have been 480 actually brand new. I think it was 414 though. Um, for value for money, this is like I don't know, a 2 out of 5 or maybe a 2 out of 10, I'd say. Or not, maybe not 2 of them, maybe 5 out of 10, I'd say, because this is really, there's no pre-fitted speaker, there's no manual, I mean, like, there's such a a bigger gap in terms of model trains, in between the class lights. The horn is tilted down, the thing on top is kind of smashed in, and, well, the coupler height's off, so it's, kind of not really that good for value of money. Detail, I don't think it's really prototypically accurate though, because 5145 is potentially scrapped in real life, as no one knows where the actual location of the locomotive is, which is kind of strange. But yeah, on my point scale, which I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a solid 25 out of 50 because there's definitely stuff that needs to be improved on it, of course, but still. If you want to buy it, just go for an Intermountain or Scale Trains one, or Rapido, I say, be better. Right, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbyes.